you are ready to go. And then I begin. And I am comfortable if you have yourself unmuted. Unless there is a music in the background, we can always interact.
Okay, I am unmuting everyone. They can actually, interact whenever they want to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Suresh. That helps.
No problem. 1 second. Participants, unmute all. Yeah, great.
Okay. So very interesting thing that I observed. Coming from a business family which I never joined for some reason, I was always told that doctor, lawyer, or police, you should always keep around you, or you should always know them. So, I got this in Virasat and I carried forward. So I have a lot of doctor friends, I have a lot of lawyer friends, and I have a lot of friends who are in police. Okay. So one of the lawyer friends I was talking to, I said, how is your business going? All the courts are shut. He said, don't worry. The number of cases of divorce have increased significantly. And I am getting all those cases with me. I said, what's the correlation? On a serious note, so we just delved down to the behavior. We saw couples are staying together. Husbands and wives are staying together for a long time now, and almost 90 days. And that made me think that what's the correlation? What is the case in point? Is staying together cause of divorce? And if yes, then what is marriage supposed to be and what is family? Yeah. So similarly, if you see, whenever a calamity strikes, whenever there is a war, whenever there is some epidemic or a pandemic like this, businesses and individuals and professionals jump on their feet and they start saying, hey, let me innovate. Hey, let me invest in R&D. Hey, what are you doing? So if they have a huge IT team, poor guys, the CEO or the chairman come back and say, what have you done in last 12 months? Have you justified your salary or not? So, everything boils down to a very funny thing that what is the R&D the team has done. But I think, this time it's going to be different. We are going to come to an era after thousands and thousands of years where we used to say, don't mind me saying this, I'm not trying to hurt any religious feeling here, before Christ and after Christ. Now it's going to be before COVID and after COVID. So that's the impact that's going to be. It's not an epidemic, it's a pandemic. It's the entire world that has been taken by the neck and been told, hey, you're going to behave in this way. And that behavior is non-reversible. Having said that, there is a lifestyle change. There is, the social distancing norm. There is a change in consumer behavior. And this is going to lead to something called catapult effect. So, what is a catapult effect typically? So in a typical catapult effect scenario, when the lockdown will get over, how many of you, let me ask you a question. How many of you are waiting and dying to eat outside or go to a mall or to shop? How many of you? I can see Parul shaking her head vehemently and saying, I want to go.
No, not at all.
You don't want to go. You're not wanting to.
Not at
Abhishek,
all.
you are wanting, dying to go?
No, not at all.
Everybody's saying no. Ekta is also saying no. Okay.
Same.
I spoke to a lot of. Suresh also does not want to go. Suresh, you and me need a haircut, right? Yeah, I don't want to do R&D with my hair. Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is people are waiting to do revenge buying. What is the revenge buying? Revenge buying is a very interesting behavior. They say, "Mujhe roka gaya paisa kharch karne se. I have been stopped to spend on luxurious products. Let me go out and buy the world. Let me buy everything." Why? I want to prove a point. I want to prove a statement. So friends, don't do the same thing with your R&D or innovation. It's not a revenge thing. And what's the catapult effect going to be? We will go back, try to adapt to the same old normal, which was before COVID, and try to do things as we were doing in a mundane way. And then we'll realize that, no, it's not good. It's not safe. And then we'll straight away catapult and embrace the new behavior. The human brain is in a mode of denial. We don't accept things. And you may wonder that why am I telling you all this gyan? Friends, the entire R&D or entire innovation or development is not devoid of human behavior. It has to be human behavior that's impacting you, which is motivating you to innovate or do some research. So what is the dominant change in behavior? Let's understand. So the change in behavior are threefold. One is technologically, Second is media consumption. And third is leisure activity. I feel, friends, you can guide me if I'm wrong, we are working more than ever.
Correct.
Earlier, we had the excuse of traveling. 2 घंटे office जाने में, 2 घंटे आने में, 1 घंटा normal tiffin break और आधी घंटा loo break. It's all gone.
Yeah.
There are no Sundays. There are no Saturdays.
So,
Right? So what has changed? Information. We are hungry for more information. What are the reported cases? What's happening in the stock market? Where are investors investing? How is Mukesh Ambani becoming richer day by day? With 12% stake already gone, feeling envy and jealous, right? Second, importance of connection, importance of being in touch, importance of meeting people, importance of calling, importance of talking. Third, comfort. I'm very scared of going back to office with my team. I cannot give up my shorts. And I can't go to a client meeting wearing my shorts, man. I mean, nobody will accept me. So it's so damn difficult. I have ordered new set of chair and table for me, which is ergonomically correct.
True.
So, all this, it's not going to be taken away from me. And fourth is escapism. This social distancing, this separation is nothing less than an escapism. I was talking to real estate friends because of some time I've spent in real estate, and a lot of my clients are in real estate who are doing a lot of R&D on what is the future of livability, what is the future of commercial real estate, what is the future of people staying. Gentlemen and ladies, you would be surprised to know people don't want to own houses anymore. They are saying, we want to stay in a house that is guarded, that is secured, that is protected. We want to go to office, which may be huge, but I am safe there. I should have medical facility in my office building. So I don't want to create challenges for entrepreneurs in this talk. I don't want people to feel challenges that they have to suddenly change their office space, but that's the truth. That behavior is going to stay. I mean, especially, Parul, for you, I think these behaviors are pertinent. Marriages would be different.
very difficult. And I don't see them happening at all for at least a year and a half. To get back to normalcy, it will not come. I don't see that coming at all.
Okay, because last Sunday,
I'm very scared of contacting my vendors and getting them back to work or to a site. It's my responsibility, so I rather not even touch it.
True.
See, so, while business is important for us, we are wary. The behavior has already happened. So what could be the innovation in her field? What could be the technological interruption? So I attended the first virtual marriage last Sunday. A college seniors. So he's 20 years senior to me. He's in his late 60s. And his son was getting married, who is of my age. And I asked him, sir, how are you? Sorry?
That's a good one. His son was marrying of your age. That's interesting.
What do you think my age is? We'll take it off.
Suresh?
I take it personally.
Suddenly you're jumping to the age?
Somebody is so lucky. Oh, wow. If I would have been that, I can't say much.
Okay.
So I would have skipped it.
I see the focus shifting here.
Yeah, exactly.
So Sunday with the virtual marriage that happened, it was very interesting. The Pandit was from some third location. And the couple were at one location. And there, the entire event happened. So there were 300 people online on Zoom who are witnessing marriage. So, for events industry, this is going to be the norm. Now, is it a force fit? Is R&D innovation a force fit? No, it cannot be. Friends, this is a chart that I have prepared, and we need to understand what is the business strategy palette for our business. What is the stage of business we are in? So classical stage of business, the Kirana Vara store, trust me, they are very well off because they will join aggregator, Zomato, Swiggy, Big Basket, Groffer, and their business will burgo. And people who are traditionally solid classical business model, they are going to do well because Jio is coming into retail, right? Adaptive. As I always say, people who are millennials, who are born between 84 to 87 to 90 are the worst hit because they are at the cusp of offline to online generation. They're in the middle of that. They're seeing that transition happening. where, the 2000
And some of
million,
them would not even, sorry to interrupt, some of them
Yeah,
would
go
not
ahead.
even be able to relate and understand how to go about it.
Absolutely. And that's so tough. And that's the adaptive side of businesses. Same businesses are also, facing a similar challenge. Visionary businesses are not too much troubled by it. The startups, the lot of in the aggregation business, the health aggregators, the food aggregators, a lot of them are doing well. And another biggest challenge for businesses, which are the SMEs in India, is the renewable category. It's a very harsh place to be in right now, with a lot of trade wars going on, a lot of disturbances happening between two countries. Now, in a war-like situation, while SMEs have an opportunity, there is a lot of requirement for growth capital. Where does the money come from? Where do you invest? How do you augment your product? How do you improvise your product? So here it is very important. So, a lot of my clients, when I was speaking to them, they said, hey, what about we getting into masks and sanitizers business? It's a low hanging fruit. There is a lot of demand. I urge them that don't do that. You are a manufacturer of X. Why do you want to go back in your career and be a trader? You are going to create new products for the market, and being a trader now, because you're not going to set up a manufacturing factory of masks and sanitizers anyway, it's not easy. While companies like Asian Paints and Nerolac did a very smart thing, because they knew sanitizer as a chemical, as a petroleum byproduct, was already part of their raw material, which was being used in paint.
Correct.
They said, let's do a line extension. Let's do a backward integration and launch a new product. So, innovation and R&D does not mean that you're spending tens and tens of years in developing something. Innovation and R&D also means that how frugal, smart and street smart you are to take a decision on the basis of what's available. So, a very interesting conversation happened between me and my mom. So I would not say that my mom is a PhD holder, but I told her about this Asian Paints. She's a well-read lady. So I asked her, what do you think about this Asian Paints decision? She gave me a very Indian example I hope you will relate to. She said, all this conversation about innovation and R&D is good when you have ample of time. You can set it up right now for something in future. But for the opportunity now, you have to be street smart. So I said, how is it related to the Indian woman and the kitchen? She said that when there is a sudden guest at home and we don't have all the raw materials that's available to be fetched from outside, we accumulate and aggregate what's there in the kitchen and we innovate our cooking palette. And our business is no different. Our business emerge and elevate from our daily lives, what's there around us. And same thing is going to happen with businesses and SMEs in India. I would strongly recommend them that not to get scared or afraid of that we cannot be an IBM, we cannot be a Mercedes-Benz, we cannot innovate like BMW. You could be a supplier to them. You could be an OEM manufacturer. You could be manufacturer of a packaging for a medicine that's going to get delivered to India. So there is a lot of opportunity. You just need to assess where you are right now, right? Now, again, I think technology, R&D, and innovation is a very abused word. So why is it abused and how is it correlated? As I was mentioning in the beginning of the presentation is, are we talking about in the same rhythm, or do we really understand that what is the importance of these three pillars? So R&D typically is your fundamental knowledge support for a new business or a new technology. You are researching for the future. R&D is not for now. You cannot do an R&D and immediately come out. As we know, the vaccination is an R&D stage. Doctors, scientists, health experts are saying March, maybe June 2021. So it's an R&D development. You have to do viability, test, check, prototyping, check on different living beings similar to human beings, and then launch. What is technology? Technology is something which makes your life simpler, like marketing automation, consumer neuroscience, digital transformation, media. And as a business, you may be at different stages. You may be, an early adopter. You may be a laggard. You may be, wait and watch business. you can play different roles. Now, what is innovation? Innovation is typically driven by value through process. Once you have identified something as an R&D, that yes, this is the product I want to go for, this is the product I want to launch, this is the product that's going to make life simple, then you innovate on it, you make it commercially viable, and then you put it into the market for selling. Innovation is possible now, like Asian Paints and other companies did it. Like I saw Wipro doing it. They're changing the entire IT facility into, I think, a health facility. That's innovation. While that innovation has come from compassion, while that innovation has come from the CSR thing of Mr. Azim Premji's thought process, but it is an innovation. Now, to make things clearer, let's take the example of one of the most respected brands in the world. That's Intel. So Intel has created a very interesting model for their own organization. That's called the TikTok model. So what's this TikTok model? They merge R&D plus technology and a sustainable business model to give an elevated experience to their customer. Friends, are you with me or you're getting bored?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of content. So if you're getting bored, let me know. I can't sing a song, but I can crack a joke.
No, we can sing it in the end.
No issues. We are concentrating on the content which you are showing actually.
Thank you so much. Respect. So what is TIC? TIC is typically advanced manufacturing for superior customer experience. And you would say, how can a manufacturing help in superior customer experience? It does, my friends. I mean, when you are making cars more comfortable, when you're making cars more safe, when you're making, a product like laptop more safe, iPhone more safe, batteries are more powerful but safe. So that's where you are advancing your manufacturing capabilities, keeping your end consumer in mind. What is stock? Once you have developed that superior technology, when you have augmented your R&D function or manufacturing process, then you get into a product innovation. When you are providing a high mAh battery, you also need to be careful that the phone does not become hot. While it delivers superior power, you're using a Snapdragon processor, it should not make the touch screen weak. Because if the processors are very fast, by a nimble touch of screen, it will take commands and it will spoil the experience. So that's where the talk comes in. That's where the innovation thought process comes in, that how do you implement your R&D and innovatively with the right business model. So friends, typically, if you ask me what is innovation, it is invention, which is R&D, plus customer value, plus a viable business model. Take any example of businesses who have innovated in this last 90 days. You would see all these three things are fitting the bill. Whether it is, a paint company getting into sanitizers, whether Wipro changing everything into a health facility, whether Zomato or Swiggy getting into grocery delivery and medicine delivery, that's innovation. That's the Jogad way of doing it. And one thing, there was a talk I was listening to of, I could not put in here, it's a very longish talk of Steve Jobs. He said a very interesting thing. He was asked that what compelled him to create Apple. So he said that, world is always talking about innovation. Innovation is now. World should talk about invention, because invention is tomorrow. So when you talk about R&D, innovation and technology, it has to be hand in gloves. Either you fix up that, okay, you're going to be only in R&D, then you partner with someone who can innovate your discovery. We have a lot of those business models here. Or you are in technology, you partner with R&D and innovation to make a business model out of it. But you cannot survive in isolation. You have to have the blend of all three. Are you with me?
Yes.
Thinking.
Okay. Any points, Suresh, so far?
So now I'm just thinking where I'm standing and what is it missing.
Okay, cool. So if I'm making you think, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's where I'm.
Okay. Now, what is the purpose of R&D? See, why I'm focusing on R&D is, I believe invention is very important. Innovation is like baptism by fire. It will happen. As you get into a scenario, human minds are very smart to innovate, to do things. I think R&D is the area of focus for all of us, whether it's, an events business, whether it's your academia education, whether it is a platform like BRATS, whether it is my kind of digital transformation as a service. R&D is very important. You have to constantly think. So first tenet of R&D is developing the fundamental knowledge. How are you becoming more knowledgeable about your business and expanding your horizon, thinking out of the box, exploring certain technologies for massive industry impact? Again, very interesting case study. Once our visiting faculty was Mr. Bimal Jalan, the ex-RBI governor. And in my sane or insane mind, I asked him that, sir, I want to be an entrepreneur. What business should I start? He said, it's very simple in India. I said, why? He said, we have 100 crore people, right? Imagine if you can, sorry?
120 plus.
That time when I was studying, it was 20 crores less. So he told me that if you're earning 1 rupee per customer, you're already a 100 crore business. What he was trying to say is, whatever you are thinking as part of your product and service, don't think about an area. Don't think about a geography. Don't think about your city. Don't think about your state. Think about country as a whole. You might create a lot of cohorts. You might segment. You might create personas. But it is very important to think broad. Therefore, you can hedge your risk. Second, strategic step without clear applicability or near-term growth is the second tenet of R&D, to develop fundamental knowledge. You don't know what is the near-term growth of that research and development, but that's a strategic step in that direction. Second important step of R&D is, see, you cannot go back to your CEO and chairman and say that, boss, I'm doing R&D, you pay me salary for 10 years, I'll keep on doing research, but I will not add value. Don't ask me questions. Aisa nahi hota hai. It never happens like that. R&D also needs to get into a mode where it is supporting business areas. You have to make business sense. How business management, manufacturing, customer satisfaction can help your R&D discovery or invention in the process is very important. So if you are getting into R&D, you have to focus at what portion of that research can add value to management principles. Second, evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of the business to create new business opportunities. Let's take an example which makes pertinent sense to the topic we are discussing right now. What would laptop or desktop manufacturers do in this scenario? In the COVID scenario, where your consumption of use of laptop and systems have increased, and sitting is the new devil because you're sitting 10 to 12 hours a day, what innovation could be possible? And what is the biggest challenge today of work from home scenario? Can you just have answers to that and think? While work from home is a boon, what's the bane?
Can you just rephrase your question again?
My question is, Sushanta, that while work from home has made our lives more comfortable, we are spending more time sitting. And sitting is the new evil, right? What are the new physical, biological, mental challenges we are facing in the work from home environment? And what innovation is possible so that we can ease that pain?
Seating arrangement.
At home, how do you do it?
I sit down on the floor. I operate on the floor.
Okay.
So sitting, I keep on changing places.
Fantastic. Okay.
It's quite difficult, but yes, we have to do that. Right. So that is one. And you're on the screen, and the screen time, too much of screen time also, which is affecting
hazardous for your health.
So that is one which I'm facing. That is second. Okay. And what else I can think of? Battery is always there. So that's.
You're near the plug.
Ailments. I see ailments also coming in. A lot of back issues, and your posture, your
Absolutely.
time, your longer hours, and that comfort zone, but there is no time for yourself even now.
Absolutely.
I see that going.
Absolutely.
And
So
also
even
the time management, it becomes a very big issue, because when you
Issue.
are at home, you are doing two things actually. One is you are working for your office, and you
Right.
in a way you are participating in your home
Home
activities as
market.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the house, if there are five people, probably two people are working, but another three people are actually sitting idle, and they don't have any work. So it is very natural that they will involve you in home activities as well.
Absolutely. And thanks, Kunal, for that wonderful answer. The innovation that has
even
happened is standing workstations.
Yeah, that's what.
And
when our lifestyle getting impacted, so thing is that earlier we used to move around, we need to travel, and
True.
we have little kind of fresh ideas coming in. Now we don't interact with the people, we are stuck in some place. Like we should have more and more kind of where we'll have like friendly connects. Okay, so suppose kind of we have can talk, we can see like people are getting demotivated. I'm saying basically, so people are getting demotivated, they're not getting fresh ideas, so people should be forced for changing their lifestyle. So they, since they're not traveling, they can go for a little bit more yoga, meditation, or some physical workout. So that should be some kind of innovation can be pulled out, like people can be a little motivated to do those, and it should be get counted. And our daily life should have some kind of measure, so that you should have done ample amount of meditation, or some physical activities to build up that.
so good point, Sushanta. Just a caution here. Don't mind me saying this. Whatever you said is very good value add, but these are habits change. These are behavior change.
True.
Now, what as a marketer, as a technologist, as a business person,
Yeah.
how can you make money out of it? So the way to
Yes.
make money is when you think about making money with the behavior change, with the habit change, that's where you think of our product or a service. So thanks. That those are beautiful points, like the standing workstation. So that takes care of not sitting for long. As you mentioned, yoga, meditation, gamify the entire experience. How do you engage your entire teammates or company to come on a platform and challenge each other or do a competition to stay in sane mind? Launch something called Avishkar, maybe. Every week, 10 ideas. How can organization adapt itself for the post-COVID scenario and work on it? So, innovation comes from people. And when you have, thank God we had this COVID. Otherwise, the entire journey would not have speeded up of going towards transformation, going towards technology, going towards innovation. We would not have had this webinar on this topic if COVID would not have happened. Right? We would be still swimming in the concepts like AI, ML, blockchain, and all that, which is anyways every marketer is talking about. Sorry, I love blockchain. I love AI, ML. I love analytics. But I'm talking something bigger than that. Because AI, ML, blockchain, everything is our technologies. How is R&D being empowered to use these new technologies? I hope I make sense. I'm not biased, but I just wanted to bring clarity.
Great.
Yeah, it is true actually.
Thank you. Now, creating and implementing new technologies, the third pillar of R&D is investment areas for short-term projects. Again, as an R&D person, if you're R&D inclined, and friends, trust me, I don't have a PhD in technology or IT or something, right? Most of the R&D experts are PhD holders. And friends, we don't have to be a PhD holder. We need PhDs and doctors to give a sign off to validity, and they're very important people. But I'm saying thinking is not restricted to your degree. Thinking is everyone's domain. So think, where is the investment area for short-term projects? Like Zomato, people thought that the area of investment and innovation was in delivering grocery also in these times.
One minute.
Yeah, Abhishek.
The way you presented R&D actually in front of us, I think in any company, anybody from a sales executive to a marketing head, anybody can do R&D actually. And you mean to say there is R&D does not have a fixed boundary that okay, the R&D team has to do R&D, nobody else. Nothing like that. The way you have said, you have opened the boundaries. There are no boundaries right now that okay, this is what R&D is and these people should do R&D. So I think in that way, I think everybody in a company who is associated directly or indirectly are R&D guys. Correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's say I'll just add up one point to Abhishek's actually. So
Yeah.
you will see, like, many companies now, they started doing some kind of innovation contest, right? So they take the ideas from all the people, so, and try to overcome some certain situation or some business ideas. So it is like, very minimum, that, for something I'm doing it, I'm submitting to company, but that has a huge impact in the, company. What I can see, like, in my organization, even I'm noticing same thing.
Amazing. I mean, thanks for sharing that experience. And I agree with you, Shushanta, because, and Abhishek as well, that R&D cannot be, so if you are heading a team, if you are part of a team, your R&D is a way of life, is a way of thinking. How can you bring research and innovation in your own function? I think that should be going forward our intent and thought process, rather than ये तो R&D वालों का काम है और वही सोचेंगे. Should not be that. So next slide, I'm going to share with you, sorry for this blurred diagram. So these were hand drafted diagrams, which I scanned through phone and put it here from an actual project that we did some time back. So this project, allow me not to take the name of the company because we have an NDA signed, was the biggest requirement. They had a requirement of, they're into real estate, and their requirement was that how do we real time change the price offer on our commercial and residential apartments based on the location of the person, number of times he has visited the platform, he has engaged with us, his data is already there in CRM, he decided before and not decided. So basically the customer lifecycle journey, right? And we were working with, so for any R&D work to do, for any innovation work to happen, the most important point is support of TMT. So TMT is not the bomb, but it's the support of the top management. You need to have the endorsement of the top management. You should have their buy-in that you are going for some R&D or innovation, thinking about it. Because these guys are at the front end of the business. They would always guide you that whether you need to spend time or not. Number one. Number two, you should have an R&D capability inside your company. Whether that's research, whether it's primary or secondary, your development capabilities so that you can do a POC or a proof of concept or documentation at least. You can do an MVP, do a validation, all that. It's very important to have that tenet. The second is the organizational capability overall in terms of the integration of R&D and marketing, right? No R&D is successful unless it has an ROI. An ROI will come from the sales and marketing function. So is that strong or not? Is there marriage there or not? Second, formality of the project. Is the project announced that you're working on something of that sort? Guys, swimming in our own exhaust does not work. We all will burn very fast if we are not collaborating. So collaboration is very important. Third important is the need analysis, the marketing support. If you are from the marketing department, very good, you're already from the department. If you are as an entrepreneur or a business as a whole, then you have to have that marketing buy-in. If it's not a very large organization, you are yourself a sales and marketing person, then you yourself are ocean of knowledge. So you know that information already. So customer need analysis, market research, business analytics, everything would be there, right? And then the success of new product development will depend on time to market, technology innovation, and product sales. So you have to create a framework before you go on to the R&D journey inside your organization. And there is a cycle of research and development. Synthesize and theorize what you want to do, explore, design and develop, implement and test, and then scale up. So I was trying to answer Abhishek's and Shanta's question. Yes, it is possible that you yourself can do it, but always keep a framework in mind. And what is the R&D framework you are going ahead? If I am crossing my time, just let me know. I'm not keeping track of time. I hope okay. Friends, if you want me to hurry up, I'll do that. Okay. What are the factors that drive R&D in any sector? So I've just tried to give you the latest graph on what is the R&D investments happening across sectors. So if you see, computing and electronics has got maximum investment. Healthcare second most, we know for obvious reasons. Auto, software, internet. You might think that why is so much of dearth of investment in consumer, aerospace and defense, and telecom? Folks, it is all about the maturity of the sector. Telecom, as I showed you what stage of business it is it is very important to understand that telecom is at a transition stage. Telecom operators have just become a bit pipe, the suppliers of data and billing system. So for them to innovate, innovation is happening outside their ecosystem. Innovators are using their infrastructure to deliver services to consumers and people like us. So a lot of R&D is not happening there except the 5Gs of the world, and adopting to 5G again is a cost center. How many consumers will be willing to pay for will decide whether 5G comes or not. Second is rate of obsolescence. The areas where the rate of obsolescence is very high, like computing and electronics, you will see more and more R&D. You will see more and more R&D in fashion. You will see more and more R&D in products, FMCG. You can retire the product high.
How come I can't find education?
Suresh, good question.
Yeah, that's a very in fact, a lot of changes and R&D is right now
absolutely
happening in education. The earlier
Even though
mode of I mean, the earlier way of giving education is completely changing now. It's redefining
Agreed.
itself.
Agreed. But what the problem is, it is at a transition stage.
Yes.
What's happening is the formal education is gradually moving towards e-education. And there the investment is just happening to convince people, because the platform and investments have happened. So in the other 1.9%, you have education. The main investment in education will happen once it is technologically empowered. Already, it's not fully technologically empowered. We saw in India how the e-education failed, how Educomp as a business model failed. So India
but
is
now
still
I think now it's time changing. Things are very, very much changing.
absolutely.
A lot of money is coming. And also, if you see, for education revolutionary, government actually kept for this year, there is about 58,000 crores budget only for education sector. So that is what is the focus changing in this year budget. So I think
Absolutely.
if you see healthcare and computing and electronics, if you compare, it's about 1% change. I think this might be changing. Healthcare is going up, and all that's it's up, because this figures are changing every week now, and
Very true.
every statement is actually contradicting with the existing statements by the same people. That is what I can make out, whatever the webinars I'm attending and listening to industry experts. So, but yes, there are a lot of percentage towards electronics is happening, and healthcare is happening, and chemical and energy and industries. So what I see is, yes, education, one sector, and there is personal care. That is what is going to change, very high percentage level. That is what my observation is so far.
Personal care comes in healthcare.
Correct. So that is definitely going up.
Yeah, absolutely. See, Suresh, very valid point. Thanks for sharing that. In education, what's happening is the fundamental, on the fundamental aspect, the R&D is not happening. R&D, the innovations are happening on the deliverability of that content. So we would see a lot of money getting into R&D maybe from 2021 and 2022 when things normalize.
No, I'm sure.
At that time, when we look at these,
a lot of R&D is now will happen in education, because
exactly.
the foreign countries are not accepting for higher education. So a lot of, there are about 4 lakhs of students traveling every year, from India to abroad. And now I think that will come down, and a lot of internal institutions also are putting a lot of research and development investments towards making the standards to comparatively for the foreign universities. That is one. And second, there are a lot of instruction from the education department, from parliament and policies also, to bring how the education things are actually changing towards digital, and COVID definitely is a part, playing very big role. And even when I am also working on the similar platform where I'm talking to a lot of universities also, they are also talking the same language, because now they have to do that to facilitate the education industry, because it cannot stop. Supposedly, if you see the 12th exams have not yet happened, but yes, we have to do that. We cannot just skip. Okay, first, second, third for the primary and all that, it's fine. But, and one way online, if you see yesterday, there was a news, first and second online classes actually stopped because of the screen time and whatever, the coping up. We have stopped it. So they have to come out with there is a lot of scope in education. That is what I can see. And yes, myself also, I'm doing a lot of R&D last 3 years in education. So I know the depths of, in education sector. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Suresh. Thanks for sharing that valuable input. I agree with you. I mean, education will undergo a lot of transformation. True. So, as I was saying initially as well, you don't wake up and become a butterfly. So growth is a process. You don't think that, you can start R&D today or innovation today and you will be successful. Be patient. Give yourself time into your R&D efforts also. So some data here, what's world's top companies who are investing into R&D. A bit of busy slide, but if you see the top 5, 6 companies are into technology and IT who are investing into R&D primarily. You will not find companies like Walmart or General Motors even featuring here. Why?
Sorry, can you come back?
If you see, most of the companies that is investing into R&D today are the tech companies.
Correct.
Right? In the automobile category, you will see very few more companies like Toyota, Daimler Chrysler, or Ford Motors investing. If you see erstwhile companies like General Motors and Walmart, they are at the fag end. They are not in the top 10 as well. So
Really?
more and more focus is
BMS.
being spent by technology companies to invest into R&D.
So I wanted
Yeah.
to add, sorry to interrupt, I want to add very valid and very beautiful point.
Sure.
I see Pfizer, GM is there, Bosch, Honda, and these kind of automobile. Okay, fine. Ford also. So few years back, I think, what 6-7 years back or something, Rolls-Royce, I hope everybody knows, Rolls-Royce R&D and audit completely done by one of the MNCs, which I'm not taking the name. But what they have done, a very beautiful thing, which I want to bring it to India. Their entire R&D system and the stats given it to one of the university students. So that has actually opened lot of insights, which actually changed the entire Rolls-Royce strategy. So now, what we see as a BRATS also, there is a huge opportunity between industry and the institution connection, wherein India is standing on about 25th or 26th out of 52 countries. So there is a connection which we need to build up. That is what our idea also, to bring in BRATS as a, to connect industry and institutions. So we are talking to a lot of industries to bring any kind of such kind of R&D research, creating case studies also, to work with industry students, because the more authentic, and yes, there is a cost effective also. So Rolls-Royce kind of a brand actually going towards going to universities and getting their R&D and complete research is done. That is the biggest case study, in global R&D cases.
Thanks for sharing. I mean, that's very interesting, because I'll just share a personal experience, Suresh. When we were in college for post-graduation study, I opted for a student exchange program with the BMW headquarters. And as students, we were put for 4 months in their R&D department working on the NPD. And the entire NPD was about battery cars, cars running on eco-friendly biofuels. And we were amazed as students to see the way they were engaging the academia to think out of the box.
Absolutely.
And I'm very happy to know BRATS is looking in that direction, and I think that's a huge potential, to be honest with you.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
fantastic. Why not? So we have all that. Yeah, Sushanta, yes, definitely we will. I'll share it with you. We can connect and offline. So there are a lot of R&D I have done personally. So I have met each students from different part of the countries and other countries also. We have seen and the kind of experiences which is happening in Europe, US. Take Israel, take Switzerland, and Switzerland is on top. They actually, the more of real-time experiences rather than getting. They have curriculum, yes, they follow the curriculums, but they more work on the real-time experiences with the having one mentor, and for a certain period, about 20 days, 30 days, a month, or something like that, or maybe 2 months period, and they create their own case studies, and they submit to the company. Because yes, they have certain kind of a patterns by mentor, but such kind of connection between the industries and institutions are developing a lot of standards, very high standards in education system. So, supposedly, if I see, I can quote today's in IITs, IIMs are not on top 30 universities in the global, are IITs, IIMs. So why? Because there's several reasons, you know. So if you see Harvard and Satellite, this, that, so many universities we see, but Indian universities always come after 30, 31st, 32nd, 34th. IITs I'm talking about, where even Sundar Pichai is also from Indian IITs. So why? Because these kind of the mentorships are actually missing. The lot of talent is actually not coming out. There is missing the experience and the real-time experiences from the industry. So that is what helped us after a lot of R&D done by ourselves, and that is what we coming out, and we want to bring it. This is an opportunity which is really missing, and we need to encash. That's the overall concept of us.
Very, very valid point. I think more and more people need to invest their experience into R&D and accept its importance. Yeah. Thanks, Suresh. So, as we were just discussing, importance of research and the people behind research. So, while we were doing some research project design, it was very important to design the persona of design engineers who are part of the project. So when you set up a research team, when you set up an R&D team, you have to create a kundali or a biodata of a person who is going to work on that R&D. So I'm just giving you an example of how did we create the persona of a design engineer. So on the left-hand side, you see, what is he into? What is he going to do? What is his area of work?
Correct.
How does he do it? What tools he use? And second is intrinsic behavior. What is the job focus? Where does the stress come from? What is his job function, buying behavior, background, and personality? So unless we do this homework, your R&D team, people, or the team is not ready. Team is very important. So if you are thinking of setting up an R&D team for yourself, it's very important to design the persona of your team.
Correct.
So why is R&D so important and buzzword today? Why is Suresh thinking so much about R&D in India and everything what he shared? We the people. More and more people are moving towards that middle class to upper middle class to a global rank in terms of the income group. That's the power of the Indian, and why these technology companies like Amazons and Ubers of the world are focusing on India, because they see a lot of money. They see opportunity to earn that $1 from that 120 crore people, and that's why they are here for their data. And how is the livability changing? The population change, the migration from cities to others. We would have more and more urban centers. We would have more and more people who would be coming, more and more locations would change into urban cities. I would not say more and more people will come out from rural to already existing urban, but there will be new urban centers that will be evolving. So there was a very interesting conversation that was happening between the Merchant Chamber of Commerce across the country and PM Modi. I was lucky I was part of that video conference. And the Prime Minister and the business owners discussed on a very interesting topic. I'll take one state. If you take Maharashtra, you can count on the finger how many CBDs it has. It has Bombay, it has Nasik, it has Nagpur, it has Aurangabad, it has Pune, 5 cities, 5 urban centers. If you take West Bengal, how many urban centers does it have? Only Calcutta. Exactly. So imagine the potential of growth that's possible in West Bengal as new urban centers. Imagine the possibility of urban centers in UP. Everything is towards UP East. Yeah. So that's going to be the new India where R&D is going to happen in livability, place, etc. Now, the transition that is currently happened right now we are in is R&D towards sales, manufacturing, back office, BPO, etc. I'm running through these because there is a lot of time to spend on these slides. I'm just giving you an overview. Now, what are we going to move towards? So the next state of innovation, outsourcing to India that's going to happen will involve, the CROs, the CSOs, and CMOs. And the entire R&D is going to happen around people. It's not going to happen only around companies or manufacturing or processes of a business. It's going to happen around people's role. You would have knowledge process outsourcing, you will have manufacturing process outsourcing, you will have sales processes outsourcing, all coming to India, and which would involve R&D, sales, service, sourcing, everything. So we are in talks to one of the biggest fund houses in one of the countries. They are saying that we have an e-commerce platform, and we want to source 20,000 products from South Asia and sell it to different countries in the world. And they have decided on a price point, and they want to outsource that business to India, and we are working with them. And their demand was everything should happen from India because Indian people are frugal in their thought process. If we tell them that we want something in $20, they would make it happen. And I took pride in that philosophy that we Indians are known for our frugality. We Indians are known for our cost manufacturing capabilities. And that's what's going to be the future of India. That's what's going to be the areas where R&D would happen, which is knowledge, markets, and resources. Let's take some examples of sectors who are plowing a lot of money into R&D in India. So if you talk about the entire nation, you can see tons and tons of pharma companies investing into India for biopharmaceutical innovation. So, things like DNA, things like bioidentical hormones, things like, Ayurveda, things like blending Ayurveda with modern medicine, things like functional medicine and their remedies, everything is happening from India. And that's why India is gradually becoming the gateway to the world in terms of R&D, innovation, and technology impetus. I still remember working on a patient management system 4 years back for a company in Philippines. They said, we have the best of technology experts in Philippines, but we want thinking, designing, UI, UX to happen from India. And we did that entire project for them. Why did it come to us? Because of our frugal thought process. We also have processes. We also have long cycles of delivery, but we are quick to think and ideate and deliver. Similarly, let's look at the technology R&D that's happening. We already know about it. The Googles, the Ciscos, the Adobes, the Symantec, the IBMs of the world, the way they are investing. And friends, if you see one thing, you will see new centers emerging. It's not the same set of centers who are getting the business. You would see Goa, you would see Hyderabad coming in a big way. You would see Kolkata and West Bengal coming into the picture in a big way. Because more and more strength of the country would come in as more and more urban centers and the population shift would happen. Now again, look at automotive. Nobody thought that we would live beyond Marutis of the world. See, now we are talking about the R&D and the technology hub to one of the biggest car manufacturers in the world. So friends, the point I'm trying to convey that all of us agreed today is it's very important to accept and understand that R&D or innovation is not the KPI of large organizations only. It's even we as individuals or SMEs or small businesses can invest in. The ideal thumb rule is that you should invest 10 to 15% of your profit into your R&D. And if you can motivate your management of the company to do that, invest time. As I said, growth takes time. So invest in your R&D, you will certainly come out with some innovation. Invention would lead to innovation. Thank you very much. This is what I had for you today.
So what does the elephant stands for? It's very interesting. And there is a lion behind you and there is one elephant ending.
Elephant is for longevity, knowledge, strength, vitality, and year-long commitment.
So that's a Ganpati Bappa Moria type. That's nice. That's wonderful. I think Mr. Jalan sharing his contact details also for your all information. If you want to get in touch, you can get in touch with him directly. That's a great, very interactive session. Thank you, Mr. Jalan. Anybody has any kind of questions, please you can ask. Yeah, please, coming back to everyone.
Okay, here.
Yeah, great.
Hi, Jay.
Hi. I attended from somewhere in the midway, and I listened to you. Very interesting thing that Maharashtra and West Bengal, the urban and rural dynamics. And then you said that R&D is not the domain of the bigger institutions, but the individuals and all the things. What is my question is, if it's on individuals, now the types of mind, the type of enthusiasm, type of entrepreneurship that we see in Maharashtra, we don't see it in West Bengal. So is West Bengal really a potential things, for more urbanizations over a foreseeable time? We may say that, okay, a shift of political scenario may do it, but ultimately, as you say, it's a people. Now, I see a lot of difference between the attitude of the people between these two extremes. What are your opinions, or what is your view on it?
Thank you, Mr. Jay. That's a very interesting question. So a bit of disclaimer. I am born in Calcutta. I'm not a Bengali, right? And my education is in Calcutta. My post-graduation is in Calcutta. So I have lived certain time of my life, but I'll tell you one thing. I agree with you what you say. See, while I say people of every state, every country has set of people who are enterprising. You know, it's the stories of the kings and the praja, Raja and the praja. Raja is one, and the praja is large number of people. Same thing is with any state, or different states in any country. There is one state who is leading something for many years, but there is one state who is going to be the challenger. I think, from my personal experience, is West Bengal and its people has had enough of the tyranny and the communism that they have faced for so many years, and they have faced the brunt of that, and they are pained by it. Now, if you see the hunger and zeal of the people from that state venturing out into different parts of the country and different parts of the world, you would see a striking difference that's happening. You would be surprised to know, with the recent placements by the Googles and the Facebooks of the world in their technology or the back office research center, close to 22% of the students, freshers who came out, were from colleges, non-IIT colleges of West Bengal. 22%. They were from people from Bardhaman, from Durgapur, from Purulia, from Calcutta. I was very lucky to be part of a couple of placements talks in certain colleges. So therefore, I know that these guys are going to Bengal and recruiting students. Why? The labor is cheap. Yes, because they are hungry. They are intelligent. They have fought for so long. That's why I say, yes, Maharashtra led the way for so long, but Bengal is coming very fast. Same is with MP. I mean, if you see MP, we never thought of MP as a very enterprising or an industrial state. We always thought MP survives on tourism. But now MP is coming as a manufacturing hub. Look at Raipur. I mean, it's the finest and the only smart city in the country. Have you been to Raipur recently, Mr. Jai? Chhattisgarh? I would really urge you to go to Raipur and see the city has transformed. I have stayed in Raipur for a couple of years, so I know what the city has become.
I agree.
So today it's a story of India. It's not the story of a state. It's not the story of a city. It's going to happen India-wide. And that's going to be the difference of what our neighbors did in China. There in China, the entire manufacturing story was of South China. There was a huge divide between North and the South China. In India, it would be magnanimous. It would be mass. It would be throughout.
We can look at Bihar last 10 years.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Massive. So what was
Yes.
Bihar? Bihar was like, dump area. But the kind of development was just had happened last 10 years. It's massive. So now that's the differences. So Bengal needs to come out now.
And Mr. Jai, you can hire me. I'll prove the point. I promise that a person who is born in Bengal is equally enterprising.
Well, I also born in Bengal. I am also non-Bengali.
Okay.
I also had my graduation and everything in Calcutta.
Okay.
I'm not in Calcutta more. I'm now in Dubai. But I thought that Calcutta has the large population. How do I put it? Which doesn't reflect the Indian mentality, right? Their priorities, unlike MP, unlike Bihar, unlike other states who are coming up with a good leadership, their priorities are different, totally different. Probably not on economic side, not on something. It's a survival, probably on religion. things, because there's a huge population. I think that it's not reflecting the mentality of rest of India.
No, Mr. J, I would like to interrupt and tell you that, it, as Mr. Ram said, it's all about opportunity. Now, see, I will also give you an example out of West Bengal. You take an example of Anandpur in Andhra Pradesh. It was nothing. It was mostly famous for its goons and all bad tactics due to political instability in that area. Now, what happens is, 6 years back, government of uh, Andhra Pradesh, they gave that city to Kia Motors. Kia Motors was actually looking for a huge place for its first plant in India. Now, after 6 years, if you see, those people who were, was not doing anything. Good people who want to do something in their life were going out of Anandpur, migrating to Chennai, migrating to Bangalore, migrating to all the part of the of India where development is happening. Suddenly, what happens is people started going back to Anandpur, and suddenly the economic activity started changing. The way a shopkeeper, a small shopkeeper, was behaving 7 years back, now he is behaving in a different manner because he has got serious opportunity which he want to utilize. So
Right.
as Mr. Ram is indicating actually this point that it's about opportunity. If see it's what we need to how we need to think, because we don't have data right now about each and every state. So we will see that the states who have less number of economic cities or developed cities, basically those are the potential areas where you can create those kind of cities. In one point of time in West Bengal, Siliguri was a city which used to be called as the gateway of northeastern economic corridor. Basically, whatever you want to do with northeast states, including Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, and all those states, the gateway was Siliguri, which is in West Bengal. So there were two major cities in West Bengal, economic hub, I will say, Kolkata and Siliguri. Now, because of the economic, political turmoil and those kind of uncontrollable situations, Siliguri is now has taken a back step, and Bihar is where coming into picture and taking that advantage. So I believe that it's all about opportunity. As Mr. Ram said, if the political scenarios or the uncontrollable scenes are controlled and move to the right direction, as he said, R&D is all about moving towards the right direction. I'm sure any state, for example, like not even West Bengal, any state who is not able to do anything will be will do wonders.
Inshallah, yeah, we have to hope for the best and let's be
Yes.
optimistic, and that's
Yes,
where we
yes.
can agree. That's all. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for your.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. Parul, you want to ask some question, please?
No, it was quite a interesting discussion and very interactive, and learned so much, got to know so much from Mr. Ram, and I think I'm going to look forward and going to disturb him more.
Oh, that's nice. Any more questions
Thank you so
from
much.
anyone? Oh, Ekta. I need to
Hello.
see. Yeah, Mansi.
Hi. My name is Mansi, and I want to ask, being a management student, I'm pursuing MBA. So how can I apply this knowledge for my future, especially for like job prospects?
What is your knowledge, Mansi?
I'm actually going to going in my second year, so I'm going to be pursuing finance and marketing.
Awesome. So what's your primary and what's your secondary? Marketing or finance?
Finance, honestly, but I do want to keep my options open. Like because of the COVID-19, I would.
It's a brilliant choice. Don't change your options.
Okay.
COVID is going to make you more in demand. Trust me.
Exactly. So how can I make sure that I'm in the game and
you are in the game. You just have to harness that power. You are in the game. Trust me. This is the best time. This is the only time you have so much time in your lifetime. Don't forget that. You will never get this.
What skills and how can I enhance my knowledge?
What's your area of interest? Which sector excites you? Telecom, pharma, medicine, fintech?
Fintech. Reason because of like increase in digital transactions because of COVID-19. I feel that this sector is going to be on boom for sure.
Okay. So let's start with very basic. Why should we talk about how to become Paytm? Let's talk about very fundamental thing. How do you? So the biggest challenge that's going to be on the ground today is making payments to your helping hands, right? And getting the work done without impacting them. How can fintech transform their lives? How can you increase the per capita penetration of insurance? How can you increase the per capita consumption of digital transaction? Credit cards are at all-time negative because credit cards were usually used outside the house, in the mall, cinema, eating out. That's going down. So how can fintech empower and take the wallet share of that audience, right? How can you use fintech for SMEs to empower their businesses? You have to think, you have to read, and when you pursue a particular topic, when you go deep into it, when you research, then your idea starts opening, then your mind starts opening.
So what are the best possible ways I can research, be it through journals, editorials,
Read the best finance journals like The Economist. Read more and more research on HBR. Read more and more content online. There is plethora of content online.
Right, definitely, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, and search for very interesting webinars that's happening on finance. Listen to more conversation on stock markets. There are a lot of stock market conversations that's happening by IIFL, Motilal Oswal, McKinsey, KPMG. Listen to all of them. Attend. So in last 90 days, I've attended close to 80 to 85 webinars.
Wow.
So do that. Listen to be
So the
crazy.
best possible ways like to have be engaging in the conversations. Just listen to them.
Just listen. Just rehearse. Just practice. Note everything down. Your diary should be full of notes. Yeah.
Done. We'll do that. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Sir, can you tell about marketing as well?
What marketing impresses you? What part of marketing you're interested in?
Media and communication and market research.
So communication is all about what you have researched. So what do you want to research? What area is your interest of research? Which sector? See, Ekta, I'm just trying to help you guys narrow down the funnel, right? And be as focused as possible because there is so much to embrace. You can't do everything together.
Food and beverages.
Oh, excellent category. So what do you think is going to be the future of food and beverage now? What sort of food and beverage will work?
Like right now, people are working more on like healthy. They want to stay healthy so that they can live longer. So and as of now, I guess every teenager or the working professional, when after COVID, when things will be okay, they are looking for more homemade food because it is safe and it is secure.
Super. So first of all, I would just like to share a very interesting dialogue from Pran Saab. He always said, "Zindagi badi honi chahiye, lambi nahi." So don't focus on that consumer thing. You can't control the lifespan of your consumer, but you can always ensure that his experience in that lifespan is interesting. So focus on that, right? Longevity is not in your hand. Number two, very important thing is how the food consumption is going to change. People, you're right, going to go for more home cooked food, but will they have time to cook at home?
No, the service company can start up something and they can provide directly to their offices, or if someone is working from home itself, then.
So you are saying trying to digitize the dabba walas, right?
Kind of. Yeah, dabba wala is providing, but I have some more ideas, but I don't have exact. I have raw idea. Like I wanted to do, but I will talk more about it.
Sure. So you can, I'll give you a business idea right away. Create an aggregation of all home chefs who have a lot of time right now, right? And launch a portal that only home chef food in your location and make the service geotagged. So if you are in Bandra, so all the home chefs in 2-kilometer radius can serve you food fresh and hot. You manage the logistics and you manage the supply. You are in
Sir,
business.
actually in Kolkata also, there is one startup, Nani Ghar, there is a name they come up. They're also doing the same in area itself.
Fantastic. So you already have a copycat in some other sector, in other state, and innovate on top of it.
No, no,
Get
I
into
have this
functional
idea.
foods.
I just come to know like last month only.
Very nice. So I'm happy to see you are researching and you already know about the brand. So work on it.
So one thing I have to ask, like
Yeah.
if for coming up some new innovative crisp idea, which we when people look for the which brand the food or the product we are servicing. So the word I thought for it's already there. So how can we replace and think about other like about the logo and the I would like I was doing a little bit on that also research and development, little bit researching I'm
Talk
doing.
to people. They will give you ideas of brand name, what buzzes with them. When you think of food, what name, what words come in, that's how you discover. So it has to be a discovery process on brand and logo.
So
Yeah.
I have done little bit of it. Can I share later with you? Can I discuss more on
Sure,
it?
I'll be happy to help you with that.
Okay.
Ram, just one follow-up question.
Yes,
As,
Sushant.
Ekta was asking, so I just got interest. So, do you think this COVID time is going on and that home cooked food? There is some. I saw many initiatives are running actually. That will get major impact. And see, Zomato is already suffering because of that. Lack of manpower. Then maintaining that they're doing some kind of advertisement. To improve that. But do you think that it will be like majorly this home delivery, this thing will get impacted? Just next some time.
Yeah, I know people are fear of that. Why should
Yeah.
we like get delivered? Because maybe if there is some corona or something like that.
Right.
But if we provide in a if we give trust, like make our content like that, like the way we talk in homes, if we make that kind of content and then we put forward to the people or the customer, I think people will trust and they'll take our food.
Home kitchen, it cannot be like you cannot make it live, right? So people will see like the trust will won't come. As though restaurant you go like you have a live kitchen, people think okay fine, I'm getting fresh from the ovens, right? So those are some kind of thinking. I'm just thinking like that it will be like impacting the business.
See, obviously, I mean, the delivery of the food is a huge criteria, and that's going to. So that's where the packaging innovation is possible right now. How are you going to deliver the last mile food without the minimum touch? I think Zomato and Swiggy's of the world have done a good job to do that trust by campaigning, but the communication is not easing out the pain. It is more from the action perspective.
Mhm.
One of the brands that has did a very good job in this is started serving food in earthen vessel. So they said, okay, boss, earthen vessel, the virus does not stick. It has been proven from research, and we are giving you a biodegradable packaging. Use that, you will be safe. So, I mean, just a thought. I have not done much research on that, so I can't say strongly in that area. But these are the small innovations people are doing, and it has to come out of experimentation. And I would say not to invest too much in trying to innovate. The confidence will build gradually.
Okay.
So F&B has a lot of opportunity now too, and we need to do a lot of R&D. So keep on doing a lot of research, Ekta. You will definitely gauge much more knowledge and much more, authentic results. Then, of course, you'll find a way. Anything help you required, you can, you have Mr. Ram Jalan's, contact. You can actually, get in touch with him for any help. Sushanta, right? You also can do that. Sushanta,
So
what is, where are you working? You're a student or you're working somewhere?
No, I'm working in Accenture. So I'm part of Accenture Innovation Security Innovation team. So
Oh,
we do
wow.
security research and all this, kind of
Oh, wonderful,
thing.
wonderful,
So
wonderful.
when you were talking, right, about the education thing, so I got little interest. So it's like touching my, some of the plans. So maybe I can come back,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Are we connected somewhere on any, how we would?
No, actually, it is like thanks to Abhishek, he pulled me in.
All right.
So I was supposed to tell you. So
Wonderful,
we
wonderful.
are classmates. So we did MBA together. So we
Oh
are class.
wow, that's nice. Super, wonderful, wonderful. Great,
Yeah.
yeah, great, great. Yeah, Ekta, please.
So like I stay in Jharkhand. So like I stay in a very small city which is named Giridih, and here a lot of opportunities are there which I always think of it, but people are not taking any initiative. Like there is no Domino's or a Subway or some big mall, something like that. So there here, and here is not Zomato and all Swiggy as well. So I
Ekta, let me
think
tell you something interesting. You know Devgar, right?
Devghar.
Yeah. So I'm consulting a small, medium, and enterprise to start the first food tech platform only for Devgar. Can you
Oh,
beat that?
if nobody is there, the more opportunity.
More
Absolutely.
opportunity is there.
Okay, yeah, correct.
Absolutely. So you should start it, and government is very supportive of funds to young entrepreneurs like you, and you have a dedicated women entrepreneurship fund that is available to you, which is up to 10
Yes.
lakh rupees.
So
Just get
I
yourself
can
MSME registered.
I can give you one example. Like you think about Flipkart. So their first book selling happened in Bangalore. That too also the guy went by cycle and to his house to give it the book. So that's what it started. So maybe you also maybe have some friends, tell them to deliver. Who knows, it will become a big food chain there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so because of this only, I mean, yeah, I have a plan like, but because a lot of things I don't know, like as a marketing student, I have to learn a lot of things. So I'm just learning side by side apart from my classes so that I can upgrade and I can connect the dots where I'm lacking and where can I improve day by day.
That's really fabulous, Ekta. That's really
Very
fabulous.
nice.
Really
That's the
appreciate.
spirit.
Really
Ekta,
appreciate.
there, in this point, this session will help you out. As Mr. Ram said, everything is all these connecting dots. If you want to make, you have to do research and development. And today you got that idea that how you will start your research and
Correct.
development, what is the direction of your R&D, how you going to start it, who should start it. Basically he talked about that also. That is something very new. I came to know today that there is a profile also of a researcher. So all that important things you got learned today already.
Please update
Yeah, but
when you turn on about 100 crores. Please buzz us, Mr. Ram, and tell us that this is the idea actually given by Mr. Jalan, and we created all this. And thanks to BRATS. Don't forget that.
Absolutely.
But just one thing, always keep in mind that don't think that I will have big research and then I'll come back. Always attempt it. That makes your attitude build up. So that will make you
Wonderful.
success. Because I had like I tried some small startups, so I know that that's what I learned from there. So the thing, you keep it for thinking that I will do sometime, you never cannot come back.
True.
Because you see like big initiatives like Uber in India, so they never maybe started with a big plan. Okay, it is a small plan came up nicely, and maybe you will have this entire, maybe your forum, right? You can come up and get some idea. I can do that. Always that is there.
like I'm
Awesome.
learning little bit of coding also, which I don't like.
You collaborate, right? You go to LinkedIn, make some good number of friends who can code. Just tell them, now coding is very simple. There is a coding analytics. Go to Google, they will give you a platform where you can code and will tell you which part you have an issue, and then just to modify, that's all. Your code is ready in a day. That's what, like that. They are telling, it's very simple.
Okay. I'll
Even
connect with
I'm
you.
like, I'm working some background, like where I'm security researcher. I'm not a coder. I'm a pure BCom student. Okay, so I failed in my startup, so I went to MBA. MBA again, I got some market down deep. There is some recession was going on. I started networking. I started learning. Now I'm security researcher. So it is like that. So life gets rolling.
All right, guys. I
Yeah.
think we have got too much of time. Thank you, Mr. Jalan. That's a great
Pleasure.
and interactive session, and you kept everybody engaged. I quickly ask everyone to just put on their cameras to take one screenshot so I can take it on. Yeah, please. Yeah, all there. All. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure.
Thanks, everyone. I am ending
you.
this with this message, thanking again. And we will share with you some LinkedIn share where you can share all the feedback about this session. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Great,
you.
Brats. Great job. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
talking.